That's how they want it. That's how they get it. Universal justice.
Yeah, true indeed, God. What I'm saying is this, God. Every day we live in a society, we live in a world where everything has an opposite to it. We live in a polar society, right? So for every black ant, you got a red ant. For every chihuahua, you got a pit bull. For every rose, you got a Venus flytrap, right? So Yacub is the blood, the one that seeks blood, the one that's the one that's supplant, the one that want to take over and replace. You understand what I'm saying?
The supplanter.
The supplanter. That means it wants to replace you. If I can't domesticate you,
that correlates with Jacob, the birth of Jacob and Esau, because he wouldn't say Jacob was the one who grabbed the heel, because when his brother was being born, he was striving to grab his heel so he can come out first. You know, that's how bad he wanted the birthright. So later on in life, he stole his birthright when his mother, you know what I'm saying, called him in to receive the blessing when Abraham was about to give it to Esau. You know what I'm saying? Was it Abraham?
Jacob.
Israel, yeah, Jacob.
When Jacob.
No.
When Esau was coming in from the field.
Right. And stole the birthright.
Yeah, Jacob stole Esau.
They say
But Jacob's father was Abraham.
Jacob's father was
Abraham.
Isaac.
No.
Yeah, Isaac was his father.
Isaac was his father?
Yes, sir.
Abraham was Isaac's father.
Okay.
Because remember they say that Joseph was Jacob's son, right? And Joseph he told his 12 sons to bow at Joseph's feet, right?
Joseph was brother of Benjamin, right?
Yeah, and Benjamin too. Benjamin was the beloved. Benjamin was the one that he loved, and Jacob was
the one that got murdered.
That was the mama's boy.
And Joseph came back with the coat of many colors. No,
right.
No, not the coat of many colors. He came back with a favorite coat that Jacob had, that Benjamin had, and it was smeared with the blood of a beast.
Yeah, that's the wild beast.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? That's the wild beast when they talk about the wild beast. And Benjamin was his favorite son of his old age. That was his son that he was choosing to be like. You got major scientists, you got minor scientists. He said, well, Benjamin gonna be my next one. He the one who gonna follow and implement my laws. Cause Yacub law was to marry the unalike. That means if you real dark skinned, that means your woman gotta be real light skinned. If you real light skinned, then your woman still gotta be real light skinned. It was the light skin complex. The light is better than dark complex is the Yacub teaching, and the Yacub thing has been facilitated to this very day. Because before to make a man first, he gotta be distinguishable from other men. When you think about Orientals, you think about slanted eyes, and you think about a certain way that they speak, and so on and so forth. On a stereotypical level, when you think about Orientals, you think about slanted eyes and dark limp hair automatically. When you think about people in Africa, the so-called Africa, you think about dark-skinned people with kinky hair and broad noses and things of that nature on a stereotypical thing automatically. Now, this is just saying that men are different. So to make a man that's going to be totally different from the other men around you, first I have to separate them. It's just like if you want to make a pit bull, you want to make a certain type of bloodline of dogs. You want to separate. You want to get the best dog, the most access to procreate, and then you want to have him procreate with the females that have the qualities that you're looking for.
Right.
So if you want to make a man that's gonna be aggressive, then you say, well, the person that can kill the most people get the most pussy. The person that can kill the most enemies. Let's say if you're a white person, not a white person.
What they call that? That's selective breeding, God. Selective breeding.
Yeah.
And real quick, God, let me say this, man.
Use the language, God.
And let me say this to you guys, just to kind of, just to make sure that I set the stage for everybody, man. If you just joining us, we live on Instagram for a little bit, man. With me and a few of the guys. Myself, Minister Freedom Allah, the guy IC Allah, man, we live right here on Instagram. We just wanted to come. We really doing a up run and testing pilot for the God Hour podcast, man. We're gonna be building, broadcasting this live. We really looking to get one of our first episodes and some good episodes off this week, but we just was up this evening. Wanted to make sure all our equipment was up and rolling and was having a good build and figure we come share it with the people, man. So we got Minister Freedom, that's myself up here in the building. I got my man IC Allah, he over here with us. I got the God Wiseman Magnetic Allah, he down here in St. Louis, man. He gonna be tuning in with us. So we rocking and rolling. You know, we got some nectar of the gods that we rolling down and we hanging out. So God, I ain't mean to cut your wisdom. So for anybody who building in, man, I wanted to make sure I set the stage and said this and kind of put this out there, because the whole science is this, man. You know, as 5%ers and as the gods, we got to make sure that we have our own platforms, God. That we talking and doing a dialoguing about our own teachings and our own way of life, because we got a lot of people out there, you know, that's want to put their 2 cents in on what we teach. And want to put our 2 cents in on what we about and what we do, and you know, however, only we could tell our own story, only we could build it on our way of life. So that's what we want to do. We just want to add on. So we was all building on this whole science of Yacub. You know, we know it's been a heavy topic lately. Did he exist? Didn't he? Did he exist? Did he not exist? Was he a real person? What's the science behind the science? You know, what does it really mean? That's what my brother Wiseman was just sitting here going through, like, yo, like, you know, what's the science in it? Who is he in everyday life? You know, like he was just talking about going through the selective breeding process. God, and I agree with you. You just made me think about that rabbit-proof fence. You know what I mean? In Australia. You still there with me, Wise?
Yeah, I'm with you, G.
You know what John talking about?
Yeah, you talking about in Australia? You said the rabbit-proof fence. You said electric fence.
The Rabbit-Proof Fence. It's a movie, God, called The Rabbit-Proof Fence.
I ain't never seen that before, G.
Yeah, it's about the whole selective breeding process in Australia. You know what I mean?
Word.
And about them capturing the Aboriginal children. You know what I'm saying? Taking them to a compound, an isolated facility. You know what I mean? Teaching them, interbreeding with them. You know what I mean? And that whole culture in Australia, man, to destroy the Aboriginal population.
Sound like a Handmaid's Tale to me.
Australia, that's like modern day Pamos. You got to think about it, God. At one time, Australia was 100% original. They call them Aboriginal. It was 100% a black population, 100%. Black and brown people, 100%. And then Europe released its prisoners into Australia and gave them freedom in Australia, and they decimated the native population of Australia, right? And replaced the population that was a black population, 100%, and now it's like 85% black. The Aborigines have been, for the most part, they see, the Yacub mentality is, if I can't domesticate you, I'm going to destroy you.
Shit, God,
if
listen.
you're a black person,
if
you don't change your name. Pardon myself, G?
Pardon myself, God.
Go ahead, I see. Go ahead.
No. I was just going to interject and say, shit, if they still 85% black to this day, that's pretty damn good. Where it's gone, hell yeah. They still 85% black to this day after coming under the influence of the white man for any particular amount of time. You know what I'm saying? Like that, yo.
God, he destroyed the native population of Australia and decimated it, God. The native population one time of Australia was 100% black. Now it's like 15% black.
That's what we call the Inuit people.
What's that? Inuit?
It's called the Inuit. Yeah.
Go into that, guy. You say the Inuit people. What's the signs on that?
No.
Eugenics, a form of genocide.
Actually, not cyber. That's Alaska.
Yeah.
That's Alaska. They the Inuit. You know what I'm saying? He's in Australia.
You talking about the Aborigines?
In Australia.
Yeah, you talking about the Aborigines.
Yeah.
Environment, God, and they still brown. They still look like Asiatics. And they been in that cold population for, so it's not about, see, they didn't get the complexion from being in a certain environment. Because you can live in an environment forever and your phonetics will stay the same until you either naturally adapt to it or you have other genes introduced to the population.
Yeah, God, don't let me take you off your topic, God. That was my errors speaking on the Inuit. You was talking about the Aborigines.
Okay, I'm not familiar with the word. I'm gonna have to look that up, God. You have to explain it to me.
Yeah, that's the original name of the inhabitants of Alaska. When they call it Eskimos.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. And but look at their complexion. God, I'm saying look at their complexion, God. They still Asiatics, the native population.
True indeed, yes they are.
And they've been living in ice, God. They've been living in ice for thousands of years. So we can't say that environment completely dictates a person's phenotype, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because the people of the Andaman Islands, they are one of the oldest populations that's isolated, and they're strictly black people. You see what I'm saying? And when they see any person that's coming with that Yacub shit, they start trying to stone them. They don't want nothing to do with them. They don't want nothing to do with them because they know that with Yacub, when you sign that contract with Yacub, you have to be domesticated. You have to be whatever they say, whoever they say is God, you got to say God. However they tell you to dress, you got to dress that way. Whoever they tell you is the good, you have to follow that. That's the Yacub mentality. That's the mob mentality. That's the domestication.
Just so that people who listening who may not be in the know, God, when you say that's that Yacub mentality, like what do you mean? You're not talking about a person, are you? Like who are you talking about?
I'm talking about when I talk about a mentality, God, I'm talking about ideology. I'm talking about ideology that is rooted in trickery. It's an ideology that's a form of trick. It's a form of trickology. It's a form of ideology. And when I say ideology, I'm talking about a way of thinking. It's a way of thinking. You know what I'm saying? It's a physical act as well. The physical act is, oh, that's too dark. That child is too dark. Let's make sure that they don't repopulate. Let's make sure that the black population is kept at a small amount, and the white or the darker, the browner people survive. It's not a racist thing. It's a genocidal thing. It's not. You can be black as midnight, but long as your name is Bob Johnson, and you down with the American dream, and you down with whatever they say is the American dream, then you're acceptable. And to be acceptable to the Yacub way of thinking is to go with the mask.
That's that.
The mask to say get vaccinated. If you don't get vaccinated, then we're gonna vaccinate your ass. You ain't got no more rights. You ain't got. They don't care what the Constitution said. That's the Yacub mentality. When I say Yacub mentality, when we talking about a physical man or something like that, to find that history, actually, you have to dig so deep and pay so much money to even have access to the place where they say that he was located at, to even get to Patmos, to go to these sites where these laboratories and things of that nature was located at, because the island still exists to this day, but the island can only hold a certain population before the population has to expand. It has to spread out. So the island is split in half. The island of Patmos is split in half. It was from a volcanic eruption. So if you want to look and say, well, okay, where can we find this great civilization that replaced its native population and had a new population that became its own population and then spread across the world. That's war. Anytime that you say we're gonna come to this land and we're gonna kill everything that's there that's dark, we killing it, or we're gonna make it work for us. That's what they did everywhere they went, every island, every place that they went to.
Well, God, I tell you, all I thought about when you said that was the wisdom will destroy the great 1 through 40, God. That's all I was thinking about, even when you was going through, just like that mentality. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Dr. Smith Nursing.
That whole, kill the brown baby, kill the black baby, save the brown babies. You know what I mean?
That's obvious.
And I mean, but it's obvious to us though, God. That's why.
Anybody who pay attention, God.
Well, keep in mind the people out there, the dumb, deaf, and blind, they sleep. They not paying attention.
God, I'm sure the dumbest 85. Not to cut you off, God. I'm sure the dumbest 85er in the hood heard of Planned Parenthood, God.
Absolutely, God. But do they know what the signs that Planned Parenthood is pulling on?
No, they think it's a good thing.
That's right.
They think it's a good thing, and even some of the individuals that call themselves educated, they think it's a good thing.
That's the Yacub mentality I'm talking about. See, Yacub didn't just fool the dummies; he's fooled the smart people too.
Absolutely.
You can have a high ass IQ and still be up under the Yacub mentality. You can be very successful up under that mentality.
True indeed.
You see what I'm saying? That's why we say that we poor righteous teachers, because it's not saying that we can't be rich. It's saying that we're not getting paid for teaching the truth. The devil get paid for teaching. The devil want his money. When if you're in a secret society, or you in a high societies, or you in a low societies, you gotta pay. It's the capitalist mentality. So when I say Yacub shit, you ain't gotta be a white person can be down with the Allah mentality. Not saying that he could be Allah, but he could be like, I'm down with the 5%ers, I'm down with the nation, I'm down with the people that's for a positive upliftment. I'm trying to destroy white supremacy.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Because white people are not the enemy. White supremacy is the enemy, and white supremacy is a direct ideology from the Yacub mentality. So if we say that, okay, if Yacub not real, the results of Yacub is real.
True indeed.
The result of
Yacub, that's the premise that I want to stick with and highlight. That's the reality of the situation. The idea of Yacub is real. You don't have to be able. I'm not wasting my time trying to go into a back and forth with someone about the reality of Yacub being a historical individual 6,000 years ago. That's null and void. That's of no importance. The importance is the reality of that ideology.
Right. I think that it was actually a person. Like I'm one of them people that basically all the stuff that they brought as far as those teachings that we connected to, even the ones I don't practice, I bear witness to them. All the way from the Yacub to the mother with all that shit, God.
Well, God, I tell you, I
just bear witness to the teaching of the nation of God.
God, I tell you this. Can you hear me, God?
I'm not gonna sit here and try to prove whether Yacub was a historical individual, just like I'm not gonna try to sit here and prove that the mothership is a planet flying around, a planet-sized spaceship flying around in the heavens and shit protecting the people. I'm not gonna try to do that. So what I'm gonna do is we want to talk about the mothership or some shit like that. That's for instance, we're gonna talk about the UFO phenomenon. So we want to talk about Yacub. We want to talk about the South Africa, the Australia, the American civil rights movement that we still fighting to this day.
Peace, God. Peace, God. Look, this is what I was gonna say, and to your same point, God, to add on with you, like the one thing that I always dealt with, God, that I always looked at and seen Yacub as being a real person, God, is the biological genetic evidence, God, of his existence. You feel what I'm saying? Meaning, like, the science of how that the European race, the Caucasian race, God, is a race of people who have completely homozygous alleles and homozygous traits. Meaning that, you know how each person gets two alleles of each gene. You know, each basically both of your parents pass you an allele, right? And then you get a total. You get each allele of each thing that's in your body from each parent. So the whole science is, and Charles Darwin went through this as well as other scientists. Where they concluded that in order for you to get a population with completely recessive traits, you have to have at some point in time a selective sexual breeding process. If you don't have a selective sexual breeding process, you cannot have a population with completely isolated traits. Like, how there's no other way to get a population in the world to where this entire population is completely isolated, you know, blonde hair, blue eyes, and these completely selective, isolated traits, except for a system, a selective breeding system to destroy the dominant traits and remove the heterozygous traits and remove those dominant traits over a period of time to where eventually you got this isolated population just pop up and appear out of nowhere. You know what I mean? Just pop up and appear out of nowhere.
The quickest way to do that is genocide, God. That's the quickest way to replace the population is to say, oh, we're gonna kill them and we're gonna enslave them.
That's what Yacub did.
That's what Yacub did. Yacub, the mentality. First of all, when I say the Yacub mentality, that's to separate the debate of whether he was real or whether he was false, whether he was an actual historical person. I said the Yacub mentality because the Yacub mentality is, I'm gonna come up in there, I'm gonna take your property, I'm gonna take you in my possession, and if you want to have access to your women or my women, you have to follow my rules. You have to be domesticated. You have to cut your hair. You have to change your name. You have to bear witness to who I say God is, who I say is important. And if you don't, I'm gonna kill you. This is what's going on to this very day.
That's why I said, what was his idea?
You see what I'm saying? To this very day. If you're not, you can only raise in the ranks of modern society so far. If you're not, if let's say for instance, if you say anything about nowadays, you say anything about homosexuals in a negative fashion, you'll get canceled. This is the type of mentality of, for years, society has been making fun of people that's considered as being homosexual in a joking manner or in a manner. I'm not even talking about in a manner of trying to harm them. I'm just saying just in a joking manner. And then you want to turn around and tell them, if you make a joke about them, then you're canceled. It's just like for years, they was telling people, telling black people to sag. Tupac was sagged in this man. I'm going somewhere with this guy.
Okay.
I'm not staying from the topic. I'm going somewhere with this guy. Because I'm talking about the mentality, God, of follow what I say follow, or you won't be able to eat. You won't be able to produce. You won't be able to have no sex with anyone. Because we're going to lock you up. We're going to isolate you. We're going to castrate you. If you're not down with what we say is right, if we say go to war in Afghanistan, then you better not disagree with it. You can disagree with it in a certain fashion, but you better not have the power to change it.
So let me ask you this, guy, because I don't want to go too far, man. So how do we take the devil off the planet? How do we take the Yacub mentality off the planet, guys? We've been building about Yacub and the science. We done went a whole bunch of ways. How do we take it off the planet?
You gotta have a reverse mentality. The reverse of that mentality. The reverse mentality of Planned Parenthood is planning to be a parent. To pick who you want to have babies with.
Ooh.
Whether you agree with that woman or not.
I like that.
You gotta look at that. You gotta look at that your partner or the woman you choose to be with to see if she has suitable genetics that's similar to yours. You have to be a scientist with it to repopulate. For every black person, black or brown person that dies, black, brown, and yellow that dies, you have to have twins for every one of them to replace them. You gotta be strong and repopulate. You gotta say, well, I'm gonna isolate my genes too. I'm not gonna just put my genes and spread my genes everywhere just to
keep my genes on planet Earth. Say you gonna practice some selective breeding of your own. I know that's right, God. Ooh.
Yeah, God, you gotta be picking and choosing, y'all. You see what I'm saying? You gotta see the same way Yacub see Yacub say, the lighter you are And the more tricky you are, the better you are. The reverse mentality that is the more blacker you are and the more righteous you are, the more I'm going to look up to you automatically. If you're a black seed and you're an intelligent black seed, and you a yellow seed or a light bright damn near white seed, and you're more charismatic, or you're just as charismatic as a dark seed, y'all equally charismatic. I'm gonna praise the dark seed automatically to combat the Yacub mentality of light is right, and if you black, get back. I'm going to every day, I'm going to spend some money to keep a black business open. Because the Yacub mentality in a nutshell is, if you white, you right, and if you black, get back.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's peace, God.
Ooh,
I like that.
I like that. I like that one. I'm gonna have to write that one down, Wise.
Yeah, you got.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It's
you
a
dropping
mentality.
bars.
It's a mentality of domestication and genocide. It's a war. God, let's think about it, God. They try to say that black people is warlike people, but then they try to turn around the same coin and say that when they came to it, we was butt naked in the jungles without no guns, without no weapons. So you can't have it both ways. Because who gonna fight? I'm not gonna fight nobody with my junk hanging out. Not to be cruel. I'm not fighting nobody butt naked. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you are a brother. Let me put a robe on or something. So that's let you know. You gotta think about it. They try to say that we don't have no culture, that we don't look at the bronze statues in Benin, God. They try to say, see, the Yacub mentality is to say that you worshiping an idol if you have a statue of an Oshun or an African mask in your house. It's a statue, it's an idol, and it's satanic. But if I have a picture of a white Jesus of a cross in my house, then I'm gonna automatically get a stimulus check. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
not to discredit Christianity. I'm not trying to discredit any religion or any ideology by saying it. I'm just saying when you talking about people who talk about Yacub, no disrespect to the Nuwapians and shit like that, but they made up. Dr. York made up his own shit about Yacub.
Man, he said
Yacub had two brains. He said Yacub had two brains, God. Two functioning brains.
We don't want to talk about nobody, man.
No, God, hear me out, God, because I'm familiar with their doctrine, God. I'm familiar with their doctrine, God.
No, God, I know you got. We don't want to talk about nobody, man.
But I ain't dissing.
No,
I'm saying?
And I want to get a guy.
I'm saying y'all the moderator, so I'm gonna talk about what y'all want to talk about, God. But what I'm saying is this. All I'm saying is
I want to get. I see a chance to add on, God. How would you say that we take the Yacub off? How would you take that mentality off?
Gotta teach these babies.
Ooh.
We gotta teach these babies the science of everything in life. You know, teach them righteousness. You know what I'm saying? Knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. You know, that's how I see it. We gotta teach these babies and make sure these babies got the right example in front of them. You know what I'm saying? Give them the proper guidance. You know, the wealth of a nation is its children.
Right.
You know, so that's what I think we gotta do. We gotta teach these babies. In order to do that, we gotta make sure that we right. You know, to the best of our ability.
Yeah.
You know, right to the best of your ability, whatever that is. And take that and teach it to a baby. The best part. Give them the best part. So the children are the best part.
Like I just seen somebody in the comments say that the supreme being we deal with is negative and positive. Like what do you say to that? What do you say to that? That the devil. So where you got some God, and I heard gods go there. That the devil is something that when we said it earlier that Yacub is not man but man himself.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So is it something that we just we constantly got in check on? Like you said, you just teaching the babies earlier, and we just getting it off the planet.
I mean, God, that's like, you know, that's one of the oldest stories known to mankind.
Ooh, good and evil.
You know what I'm saying? Man fighting his lower self.
Ooh.
You know, fighting your lower self conquer. That's the whole science of, you know, Osiris and Set and Horus and, you know, Cain and Abel. you know, Jacob and Esau, Isaac and Ishmael, you know. I mean, these age-old stories, shit.
Yeah, no, sure indeed.
You know, that's the science of the Sphinx. You know, having the lower body of a beast and the upper head of a man. Man striving to conquer his lower desires. You know what I'm saying? That's the teaching and majority of all the religions. You know what I'm saying? And all the philosophies and whatnot. You know, striving to become what they call the summum bonum. You know, the most highest. You know.
You say the summer bomb.
Yeah,
that was a nice one.
Yeah, you know.
Said, wait a minute, hold up, my man. Wise, I know you know about that one. You know about the one that got
What guy?
Come on in.
No, guy. I'm about to play the footage, see exactly what he's saying. Sound what?
The summum bonum, God. You know.
Okay.
That's like a manifestation of the Most High for a man to live out. You know, a certain plane of enlightenment. You know, nah. You know, it's like a level of consciousness attained.
Okay, I got
You understand what I'm saying? I read about that in Stolen Legacy, George G.M. James.
Okay, I'm
You
gonna
know, when he was going through some of the science of the ancient mystery systems and whatnot.
Because when it boils down to it, God, when you take good, right? You take a zero out of good, you got God, and you put a D on front, take a D away from devil, you got evil. So it boils down to a good and evil mentality. It boils down to being evil or being righteous. When it boils down to it, if you saying when we talk about Allah, we're not talking about we're not talking about the same. It's like when the Chaldeans say Allah, we might be talking about something different than when Arabs say Allah, or when a person Asiatic say Allah, or a person from Gambia, when a person in Gambia say Allah, their idea of Allah is the same as that of the Arabs that say it. Is that some of those people that's in a secret society, or the society that consider themselves as being Sufis, they have an interpretation of it that's their own interpretation, and I don't care who you are, you're not going to change it. You're not going to say because we all so-called following our teachers. Everybody from people that's following the teachings of Elijah Muhammad, to those who follow the teachings of Father Allah, to those who follow the teachings of Malachi Z. York. We all following a certain particular individual, so to speak. So the people is teaching that's trying to master these teachings. These people taught them they gonna study. They're not gonna just study. I'm gonna take the good and I'm gonna reject anything that's considered as being negative. That's a Yacub mentality. If I say, I'm just because I'm a last 5% nation of God and earth, that everything that I hear them say, anything that the person that's a 5% do, I'm gonna support it. No, I'm gonna be selective about who I support in the nation too. I gotta walk and talk with you. I gotta know that this person is. I know y'all brothers. I know y'all brothers is right and exact. I know y'all brothers got good intent. So I wouldn't have no problem sending you my last or my biggest dime if y'all asked for it. Because I walked and talked with y'all. See, that's the difference. That's the difference of a person that's a true and living God. A true and living God goes, no, I'm gonna walk and talk with you before I just say, this the guy so and so, and he the woo woo woo. I don't give a fuck who you with.
That's how you know. That's how you know we not a religion.
To my language.
We not a religion, God. This not a religion. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It ain't no big eyes. It ain't no little U's. It ain't no, you gotta do it because this guy says you gotta do it, or because this guy had knowledge this long, it's like this or it's like that. You know what I mean? We was talking about that the other day, God. Like, you got the guy that's the best knower. You know what I mean? Who may be more sharp on a particular subject than somebody else, but and especially. Because we on Instagram. We live on Instagram. Somebody was on Facebook saying they was ready to hear you talk about the Yacub with the 2 brains, man.
Man, look, man. Hey, listen, that's the information age, guys. So if they want to, I ain't gonna talk about nobody, guys. So I'm not like the guy said, but at the same time, guys, if you want to follow, if you want to know what that says, the information age. If they want to know what they teach about Yacub, it's online just like what we teach about Yacub. But what we teaching walking and talking.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So only way I could be on the internet is the only way I can be on the internet with y'all is y'all gotta know that if I'm in the city, I'm gonna tap in. You see what I'm saying? Even if it's on some modest shit. Even if I got conflict with any guy that think of that nation, I'm not gonna pop up at a parliament somewhere where it'll be flamboyant and it'll be embarrassing to the nation. So I'm gonna tap in regardless. Because I'm a true and living guy. I know y'all true and living. When Minister Freedom, when you came to Saudi and when you came to Arabia, which is St. Louis and East St. Louis, you tapped in. You checked because you know that I know it's a guy down there. I know that he might not be, his brain might not be all the way good, but his mind is good. You feel me? You feel what I'm saying? So I know he got good intentions.
Don't say that shit. Don't say that, man. You gotta give you more credit to that guy. You one of the sharpest guys I know, man. I ain't gonna lie to you, guy. You the sharp guy.
I'm gonna tell you something, guy. I ain't the sharp guy. Listen, guy, I ain't the sharpest pencil in the pencil box, guy. But I'm tell you this, guy. Hey. I know how to sharpen up my shit up though. I know where to go to get sharp, guy. The dullest pencil. Right. God, listen, guy. If I need my pencil to work, I'll break the pencil, the wood around to get to the lead, guy. You see what I'm saying? But I was in remedial class, guy. You see what I'm saying? I was in listen, guy. You gotta think about it, guy. My parents named me Muhammad Abdul Ahmed, guy. That's my honorable name, guy. They chose so a part of my brain is a part of my brain that's overdeveloped and a part of my brain that's underdeveloped. You understand what I'm saying?
No,
and that's being honest, guy.
I'm with you, guy. You know what I mean?
You feel me?
You ain't got to go into the personal, man. You know you my man. You know my man 50.
I'm saying I ain't got nothing to hide, guy. Listen, I ain't got nothing to hide.
No, I know you. I know
you. Know what I'm saying? Hey, listen, guy. Listen. If I'm on the yard, guy, you can see my paperwork, guy.
Let me say
listen, guy. Listen, guy. We walk in the yard, you can see my paperwork, guy. I ain't hiding. I ain't got nothing to hide, guy. You know what I'm saying? I can't even lie to the judge, guys. So I definitely ain't gonna lie to myself.
I'm just saying you do. I'm just saying you do, guys. I ain't saying that.
I'm just letting it be known, guys. I ain't got nothing to hide, guys. You hear me? Hey, listen, guys. If somebody steal my identity, guys, they gonna give it back because I ain't got no good credit, guys. So what they gonna take from me? What you gonna do for me is the truth, God.
Yo, God,
you see what I'm saying?
God, I wouldn't say that, man. You know what I mean? I would just say, all I was going to say, God, is that it's such a pleasure, it's such a powerful thing to have you, God, because, this is a teaching platform, God. This is a teaching platform, God. You know what I mean? It's like we got a lot of people, right now that's in the chat that's asking questions, God, who looking to kind of get an understanding, who asking about certain things, God. So, it's an add-on, God. We add on to the people. We add on to those who are interested in our way of life. You know what I'm saying? And who coming and who dealing with us, man. So God, you a super. Your mind is appreciated, man. You know what I mean? God, listen. I want to.
What's the first of God? You know what I'm saying? Like I come in the name of Allah, God. When I say Allah, I'm not talking about a spook or a mystery. I'm talking about the original man, God. I'm talking about the first man to see the sun, the first man to see the moon, the first man to walk, the first man to talk, the first man to hold a woman's hand, God. The first man to have a baby, God. The first man. See, God, you got saying, God, we came out of triple stage of darkness, God. We came out of dark hole, holding hand, man and woman, God. But it had to be a man first, God. The man had to come first to clear the way, God. It's like when we talk about Jacob. See, Esau came first and cleared the way, and Jacob held his leg. He let him do all the hard work. It's just like a person make you dig your own grave, God. You understand what I'm saying? He make you do all the hard work. It's like a plane jump. A person let you dig all the gold, and then they put a gun in your head and take your gold, God. That's the Yacub mentality, God. You see what I'm saying? The mentality is you do all the work, I take all the credit.
Now, God, you got people in the chat, man. You've been giving us so much good knowledge, man. Saying, what's your name, God? Tell the people your righteous name, man, and how you see it, God. How you see who you are.
A wise man magnetic Allah. You know what I'm saying? The wise man in the east. The wise man represents the wise man in the east. The magnetic represents the magnetic flux of the sun, and Allah is the original man. You know what I'm saying? Allah is Allah. You know what I'm saying? All in all. You feel me? So Allah is different things to many different people. So my interpretation of Allah is different than the next man's interpretation of Allah. I'm also known as all wise 360. I ain't finna go back and forth with no 85 like no goddamn prison. You understand what I'm saying? So, Allah is tighter than my skin.
Yeah. I love this guy here, bro. I love
You feel
this
me?
guy right here, man.
I love you too,
Word
God.
is
You see
bond.
what I'm saying? But me, God, I'm gonna tell you something like this, God. I'm gonna tell you something about me, God. I swim 9,000 miles, God, and I'll walk 2,000 miles, 2,200 miles, God, before I had to get exiled. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm gonna do right. I'm gonna do the right thing like Spike Lee. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes,
Because
sir.
you guys think about the God. I come from a tough cipher, God. You see what I'm saying? The America, it's a righteous cipher, but it's a tough cipher, God. You see what I'm saying? So it's like
What do you mean when you say that, guy? How do you come from a good cipher,
A righteous
a
cipher,
righteous cipher, but a tough cipher, God?
I mean, God, because the see, I stand God, not as a self, and anything of that nature takes on some of the characteristics of its environment as well, right? So if you grow up in a tough environment, it's like the one time the guy told me, I'm not sure exactly who said it. It might have been Diamond who might have said it to me, but he was like, we say peace. He said the brothers saying peace, like they want war the most. You know what I'm saying? Like you see brothers, barely see them brothers smiling. You see them brothers smiling and dancing. Like this one sister I used to talk to back in the day. She said when she met me, she said we was around. She said she thought that we was arguing. We was talking about the lesson. She said she thought we was in the middle of a party. She said you was partying. She said you was partying and you was having a good time. And then next thing you know, your crew surrounded you. They start asking you questions and shit, and you was looking like it was like the party was over. Like they must have asked the guy what to understand and agree. You know what I'm saying? You eat no gas. Now you sit down, no more drinks, no dance, no more. You ain't dancing no more. You like damn, like the whole party over with. Like I remember one time I was with Dr. Pahook guy, and we had social equality, whatnot, stuff like that. It was a social environment, and I was drinking, because we're not religious just because we say we Islam. We don't eat pork and things of that nature, but we don't get intoxicated. Like you can drink, but if you I'm the right for the party, can't nobody you falling down.
Magnificent. That will conclude this evening's entertainment.